in my backyard. So at camping, you would probably know me as the one that does the fire. I can get the fire started either rather easily and fast, or it takes me, a while because I try to create the fire with natural objects. But my favorite thing to do really is to cook on the fire. And these are some recipes that we do at Daring Adventures, but also recipes that I do at home when I go camping. So I'm going to show you guys today how to make Chuckwagon Stew. I'm going to show you how to make a Cinna-Apple Bomb. Perfect s'more in terms of what you believe perfect s'more would be. There's a variety of different s'mores, I'm guessing, because depends on how you like your marshmallow. A roasted hot dog and how to do that perfectly. I got one more person coming in. And then also fire pies, which I've learned that a lot of people here don't actually know about fire pies. But fire pies, just for a quick introduction, you use this, it's cast iron, and it's really like a grilled cheese.
Oh, I like that.
Can I see this?
And you put it in the fire. She's cooking. And you can make grilled cheese. I like making peanut butter and jelly that are grilled, but they're called fire pies because they're pizzas, and pies is kind of like another term for pizza. But typically when I go camping with my parents, when I was younger, that was our main staple was fire pies. And I would put pizza sauce on my bread. I would put 2 pieces of bread in there, pizza sauce, and make myself a pizza pie and put it in the fire. So with that being said, those are our 5 recipes that I'm going to kind of be teaching you guys today. With those recipes, the first thing you always have to do, obviously, is wash your hands, especially during these times. Correct.
Yep.
But really, I did a lot of this pre-work before, but a lot of times when we go on camping trips, we either have our volunteers assist with cutting up our different things,
Hey, Joe.
or we have our participants even assist helping out with dinner. To make this go a little bit more smoothly and a little bit faster, I have already pre-cut everything. So I'm going to actually just kind of talk to you about how I either cut it or prepared it, and how much I'm really putting in there. But a lot of these recipes really just depends on the person, who you are as a person, how you like your food. And all the recipes can be changed and substituted so that either, you can take out meat so that it's all vegetarian. You could take out bread and maybe put gluten-free bread. You could get vegan marshmallows. So I'll also be kind of saying different things that you can do to change up these recipes so that if you are to have a dietary restriction or you are to have a food allergy, you can still make these recipes, but differently. So I have, I'm going to allow you guys to kind of choose what you guys want to see first. So I'm going to give you guys 3 options, and in the chat, or if you could say out loud what you would like, and the first person that says something, that's the recipe that I will do, because I want to give you guys the choice. So I can do Chuckwagon Stew, Cinna-Apple Bomb, or the fire pie first.
Cinna-Apple Bomb.
Okay, let's do the Cinna-Apple Bomb. Thank you. Sorry, I'm just trying to make this a little bit interactive. I know it's later, and I know that I have to be as entertaining as possible.
I thought I had
some of us has done some work today. All right.
What, Jerry?
My buzzer didn't work.
Okay.
Do I get a prize?
Oh, I'm sorry, I said it wrong. What is Cinna-Apple Bomb?
What is a Cinna-Apple Bomb? Thank you for asking that. So before I kind of go into this, I'm going to explain. So I actually didn't know what a Cinna-Apple Bomb was until I went camping at the Grand Canyon. apply microwave. Not sure. Until I went on the Grand Canyon and we made apple crisp.
Hey, Sarah, you're getting feedback. You need to turn off your audio on one of your devices.
Yeah, you just can just turn off the audio on my Zoom. But that's a good question because the Cinnabon apple was created because we typically make apple crisp at camping trips, but we had some participants who had a gluten-free allergy and they couldn't have the stuff that was going into our apple crisp. So I had to make them something else. So what I did was I created the apple bomb. So what the apple bomb is, it's just an apple. You take it and you core it. I don't have a corer, which I probably should have picked up, but I do this all the time, so it's fine. But I basically take out the core completely. I just kind of push it through. Yeah. It sounds better.
I muted your Zoom and I turned the volume down.
Sweet. Awesome. Thank you. I love having co-cooks in the kitchen. Co-cooks in the kitchen are really, really, really good. They can cut vegetables up for you. That's why we love our volunteers.
Those are called sous chefs.
So you core the apple, and when you core the apple, you will basically have a hole completely through the apple. What I do is I take the core because I don't want to I'm going to eventually wrap this apple up, and I don't want all the stuff that I'm going to put inside my apple bomb to fall out, correct? So what I do is I take the core and I cut off the bottom and I cut off the top, but pretty light, thin slices, just so that I can put it on top again, just like so. What the apple bomb really is,
I like that.
it's 3 things: brown sugar, cinnamon, and melted butter. So really what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your butter, and mine's already at room temperature because I don't really like to put my butter that much in the microwave. And I'm going to put my cinnamon, which is about 3 teaspoons. And you got about 1/4 cup of brown sugar, and you mix it all together. So it's kind of like basically the filling for apple crisp without any gluten, flour, pancake mix, oats in it. So that if someone were to have that allergy, I'm also gonna put this down so you can see it. They could also eat this as well. So you're gonna kind of want it to also kind of it kind of looks like a clump.
Yeah.
You want it all to kind of, at the end, I'm just putting enough butter, mainly because I'm trying to keep it a little bit low on the calories for me, since I will be eating this apple bomb myself. And this is just pure brown sugar, so I'm just going to try to get as much butter that it takes, but not so much that I'm eating just straight butter. And you can actually, if you don't like to use butter and you're trying to stay away from that for some reasons, you can also use coconut oil and ghee. It's very healthy for you. They're very healthy alternatives for butter in any type of recipe. So basically, I'm getting it into this big clump. And the next thing I'm gonna do is, so I have this square. If you see every single corner of this square, I'm going to take my knife and just cut a little bit further in to the apple, so that the juices from the middle seep into the apple.
Oh, wow.
Another way you can do this is if you have an apple cutter that has the circle in the middle and all the little, it cuts them into individual little pieces. You can do that, cut the core out, put it all over those slices and fold it back up. That's another option if you want to do that. But once you get your mixture, basically, it's now like big clumps. You're going to take it and you're going to put it inside of the apples. And it's going to fit. And you want all as much as it possibly can because the sugar is going to melt down, the butter is going to melt down, and everything's going to seep into the apple and bake the apple.
Oh, wow.
So then you basically just kind of fill the apple.
Wow, I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, I think that they taste very much so like a baked apple pie.
Yum.
So see that I want to make sure it goes all the way through it. So I can see that, yeah, I put it in the top, but in the bottom, there's still a lot of room. The recipe, I've adapted this recipe many times. When I first looked it up, it says get as much in there as possible. So I did it the first time. So you really just want to make sure you get as much as you possibly can into that. So that when it melts down, it's really getting into there. And then I'm taking my top and my bottom and I'm putting them right back on.
Oh, sweet.
And then when I'm done with my apple bomb, I'm going to put it into foil. If you have nonstick, I'd rather have nonstick because the skin of the apple really does tend to stick to, because it roasts the whole apple from the inside out. So it tends to stick to foil if you don't have nonstick foil. So basically you're just wrapping it up into a bomb. And we're going to put this on the fire once we get done with our other stuff. And basically this apple has to sit in there for about 5 to 10 minutes. Really just depends, depending on how hot your fire is, and we'll kind of talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, so that is the Cinna-Apple Bomb. So that is our first recipe. So now our options are, we could do the Chuckwagon Stew or the fire pies.
Fire pies.
Fire pies?
Yeah.
Awesome. Sweet. So fire pies are literally my family favorite. And I'm really trying to figure out how to make these healthier. So if anyone can else give me any options or think about it while I'm making it, that would be awesome. But we're gonna start off with our cast iron fire pie maker. We're gonna want to make sure that it's all oiled up.
Where did you get your fire pie maker?
You can get them at Target, you can get them anywhere. And that's why I'm really surprised. There's a lot of people that camp out here that don't know about fire pies. And I'm like, it's at Walmart. You have to go get it. It'll change your life.
I've seen them at Walmart.
Is that what you call it? A fire pie maker?
Yeah, so I call it a fire pie because a pie is a pizza, and I typically make them pizzas. But today, in case you have a basically dairy allergy, I'm going to make myself, because I'm trying to not eat as much dairy, a peanut butter and jelly one instead. But you can make it into a grilled cheese. You can make a pizza one. You can make like a meat empanada in it. Like there's a lot of things that you can do. You can even make omelets really in these things.
I've seen people use them for stores.
Yeah. So our next step is we get our slices of bread. If you're anything like me, you like big, thick, artisan potato bread full of yummy flaxseed.
Sarah, how
But
much was
You
that
can
thing?
use literally, what?
How much was the fire pie?
My fire pie maker was $5.99.
And now it's at
Wait,
Walmart?
Hold it up one more time.
I'm
I want
pretty
to take
sure
a
it was
picture
at
for my
Walmart or
friend.
Target.
Hold it up again. Oh,
Wait, hold on. I can't see. I've got Jerry on the screen. Hold on. Okay, say something, Sarah.
Wow, I
See
can't.
Jerry? Oh, wait,
There
post
you
it
go.
right there. Okay.
Can you see this?
Now I
Yeah.
can. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Wow.
It is a camp cooker. Colin's camp cooker. It's a cast iron cooker. So the next thing, the first thing we do with our fire pies is always like the first step of a grilled cheese. And that is, we gotta lather them up, right? Because one, I don't like a burnt grilled cheese. I'd rather have I'd rather have a soggy grilled cheese than have a burnt grilled cheese. But that's just, honestly, I think food is a lot of just how you like your food and what your preferences are. But so I add on a lot of butter, typically on mine, mainly so that it's more soggy than it is hard. So basically just like a grilled cheese, I buttered both of my pieces of bread. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to stick it in and kind of push down. Stick it in, push down. I use strawberry preserves. They're healthier for you than jelly, less sugar, less additives.
I use strawberry preserves too.
Yes,
thought
I
you
love
were
them so
making a
much,
grilled
and I
cheese.
feel like I'd rather eat fruit, real fruit in my jelly than just sugar and additives. So I'm going to put my jelly on my one side.
We have a fire pit in our front yard. I think I'm gonna go get a few of these for when it gets cooler. We can like use the fire pit and make grilled cheese sandwiches.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, not even really
Absolutely.
camping,
No.
but that is the coolest thing ever. $5.99.
Yeah, wherever you go, down there, there's
Hey, Tim, is it getting hot out there?
Yeah, cool.
All right.
So the next step is probably the main step in terms of making sure that it works properly. So you have to cut the excess bread off of it so that it doesn't burn. So I'm going to put it together. And it has this like little locking mechanism. So I can lock it. So it's not going to go anywhere. So you see all this bread? We don't want it. So you take all of it out. And then
That'd make a
is
great,
ready
nice
to go
s'more.
on the fire. What?
I was gonna say that'd make a great, nice, big s'mores.
Oh
Put your
yeah.
graham cracker
Oh,
and your
yeah.
marshmallows and your chocolate.
Yeah, you can also, we've made a s'more sandwich with bananas. Yeah, you can put marshmallows in there with bananas and chocolate, and they're really good for breakfast. Even though it's probably not good for breakfast, it's really good. As a kid, I loved it. Alrighty, so then that Willie will take it outside in just a little bit, and we'll put it on some coals for about 2 minutes on each side. and really you just kind of open up and see if it's to your liking. But most you really should only do like 3 to 4, because if the fire is hot enough, which we'll talk about in just a hot second, but if the fire is hot enough, it should be able to cook within 2 minutes on each side. Alrighty. And then our last one that really kind of has some meal prepping that we gotta do is Daring Adventures, kind of new favorite, I would say, and that's our Chuckwagon Stew. And we typically do Chuckwagon Stews for Grand Canyon, for the South Rim and the North Rim. And really, we actually have started to really like it, and I think that a lot of the participants like it because it gets them a little bit more involved in dinner time, and it allows them kind of pick exactly what they want to eat. So Chuckwagon Stew is a mixture of anything that you have, basically, that is vegetables, meat, in terms of to be roasted. So I literally just looked in my fridge and figured out what I had and what could go on there to put it in. So you really don't have to do any which ingredients. You can pick your ingredients in which you like. So for me today, I have garlic, since I really like garlic. I have mushrooms. They're like cut up into little triangles. I have peppers. I have onions. I have spinach. I have my spices, which I have Italian seasoning, some pepper, and salt, and then also my favorite ever, Mrs. Dash. I literally love Miss Dash. I will buy all of her seasonings. They're perfect. They're great, and I love them. So the first thing we do is we have to make sure that, one, I'm using my nonstick side, and that I oil up my pan. Again, you can use olive oil, you can use ghee, you can use coconut oil. Really just depends on you and what you like in your body. And then I'm gonna kind of, you just really start putting the vegetables on there. And again, like I said, say if I had a can of corn, I could put a can of corn in here. Say I had some frozen green beans. You literally can put anything in here. You make it the way you want it. I'm even gonna put some meat in there. I like meat, but if you're a vegetarian, you don't have to put meat in there. It's really up to you.
Does everybody know what ghee is?
So I'm gonna go ahead.
Does everybody know what ghee is?
Ghee? Does anyone else know what ghee is?
No, I don't.
Mm-mm.
Ghee is a butter substitute that I typically don't use. One, because I don't really like the flavoring. But a lot of people do use it now because it's natural. Hold on.
Hi, Jerry.
That's a Jerry Sarah.
Are we cooking Jerry next?
No, actually, I thought we were gonna bake with you next.
No, when you turned off the video, my picture comes up.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. She loves that picture, by the way.
No, that's because he's the host. So really, all you do is drop everything in and mix it all together. So for the sake of this, I'm just gonna put everything in there because my spinach will cook down, and I love vegetables, so it's fine.
What kind
But you
of
can
meat?
put whatever you want. Go ahead.
What kind of meat? Are you using meat?
What kind of meat am I putting on mine?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I am putting meat on mine. So I don't like the way chicken typically cooks down. in foil. So I typically use ground beef or ground turkey. Because of me not eating a lot of red meat and trying to stay away from red meat, I actually have organic ground turkey that I'm using. Turkey's typically a little bit leaner, a little bit healthier for you. So basically, and for the sake of this video, I did pre-cook the meat, just letting you know. The meat typically cooks a long time, and I'm not trying to eat uncooked meat at all. So for the sake of this video, I pre-cooked it a little bit. So what you're gonna do next is, we typically roll these up kind of like a burrito. And then I would probably write my name if I was on a camping trip, so that Sarah or Joe or Tim can get my dinner. So
We did this-
basically, 3 recipes done.
Can you
If
write
there's a-
my name on it and I'll be over in about 15 minutes to
Yeah,
pick it up?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you write my name on it, and then we could take a 351-mile drive.
There you
Right?
go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would be getting up there about 6.5 hours later.
We got nothing else to do.
Okay, so now we are gonna take some of these outside so that we can put them on our fire. So yes, it's 100 and somewhat degrees outside today. So I have been basically having coals light up, and yeah, I have my own makeshift fire pit area here in my backyard. So while we're waiting and we're gonna start our next recipes, I am going to put those on the fire or in the coals for just a little bit. So can anyone tell me, or maybe know why I put the coals on and I lit them a while and I've been letting them burn? And Jerry, you can't answer.
So they'll get to the right temperature.
Yeah, so they get to the right temperature, but also, what do you have to do to a fire before you can cook on it?
I don't
Do you
even
put-
know.
Do you cook on an open flame?
I don't know.
No.
No?
So you cook on embers, right? So you
Yep.
basically wait, you have to have your fire needs to get hot enough so that you're not cooking on flame, and that you have embers that are hot enough to be able to actually cook your food. So that's why I've been having basically my charcoal lit for the past 20 minutes out here, just kind of getting white, getting ready. So now, it's smoking, and can you see the smoke a little bit?
Yeah.
It's smoking and it's cooking and it's getting ready. So we have 2 more recipes that we need to start now that we've had our other ones kind of ready. So that is the s'mores. And I'm very interesting. I'm ready to have a debate with everybody on how they like their s'mores. And then we also have hot dogs. And we're gonna learn a lot about Sarah and hot dogs today, for sure. You're gonna learn something new about me today.
I have these croissants
Mainly
in the
that I
fridge.
don't like hot
recommend
dogs.
these.
Alrighty, so I'm going to start next the s'mores portion of this, and I am going to cook it on my lovely fire pit right here.
We see you in the other
And-
picture now.
We do? Awesome. Sweet. Great. So then, basically, how do you guys like your marshmallows? And that's what I want to know, because the perfect s'more is not a perfect s'more because you roasted the marshmallow perfectly. The perfect s'more is a perfect s'more because you made your marshmallow the way you wanted it. So how many people like their marshmallows like basically, let's see if we can get it perfectly burnt. Anyone?
Joe likes it on fire, then blown out.
So do I.
So,
I like
so
mine
right here. So
fire.
this is Joe's perfect.
Oh,
So this is his perfect marshmallow would be
it's on fire.
something similar to completely
Yes.
burnt.
It's got to be 180 degrees out there where you're
So
at.
this is what?
Yes, I know.
It has to be
So this is
180
not.
degrees.
So this is not my favorite marshmallow type. I actually refuse. I would, if it were to me, I would refuse to eat this marshmallow. I actually like my marshmallow basically very, very lightly browned, which I actually like my marshmallows and to cook my marshmallows on this propane fire pit more because I can actually get my marshmallows the exact way I like them instead of them catching on fire by accident. So another way, so I'm going to make my perfect s'more. So I just made Joe's perfect marshmallows. So whoever, if he wants to come over here and get this, Joe, he can come over here and get it.
You
But,
don't deliver?
oh, that's pretty far. I'm pretty sure they're up in Scottsdale.
I'm closer. I'm closer. I'll take his.
All
Or
right.
maybe we can Uber it.
We might stick
That
with
would
an
be-
ice cream sandwich today. It's a little hot for a s'more.
I know.
Right? It is
Fire,
pretty
fire.
hot.
Oh,
So
Lord.
when I start my s'mores, what is the first
Wow.
thing that you should do?
Break the chocolate.
Wash your
Break the-
hands.
I've already washed my hands before though. What the first thing you should do is break the chocolate. I agree. Good job, Dee Dee. I think that you should break the chocolate because who likes their s'mores with a non-melted marshmallow
Exactly.
and a non-melted chocolate? No one. So if you're like me, you want your chocolate out there, already on there, kind of by the fire. Since it's very hot, my chocolate has already melted, but that's okay. I'm glad that you guys like my stand-up comedy.
Hi, Nora.
So I would typically put mine either on the grate of the fire ring or on a stone next to it because I want my chocolate to melt. And to basically you can switch up your s'mores by small things. Like instead of chocolate, you can use a Reese's, or instead of a Reese's, you could use a Your Patty. Or no chocolate at all if you don't want any dairy, or you don't like chocolate. Or you can get cinnamon graham crackers, which I do because that's how I like my perfect s'more. So my perfect s'more would barely be, I'm gonna cooked
We
at all,
see the
and
other
I would
camera.
probably be sitting here for a while. Yeah,
We see the other camera better.
can you go leave that? You see that one better?
Yeah, we see everything, the other grill, everything.
Good.
I never thought to put a Reese's on it, and that is the best thing I've ever heard in my whole life, I think.
It's so good. Reese's, Rolos,
Oh
Butterscotch.
my God.
butterscotch candies,
Oh.
Butterfingers.
Holy
And-
cow.
An almond bar, that would be good.
Oh,
Nestle's
Almond
Crunch.
Nestle's Crunch. Oh my God.
Making me hungry. Stop it.
So
don't
then
have
when
any
you're
of that in the
basically
house.
done with Well, I live really close, so you can bike yourself down here maybe. You gotta wear a mask.
Oh yeah, we're gonna
I
bike over
think it
there.
would take me a while to wheel myself down there.
Oh, it's a little hot.
I actually think I am the closest to Sarah. So if anyone would be getting anything, she would probably be getting it because I think she's the closest.
I'd have to wear a mask.
Where do you live, Sarah?
I live in
I
downtown
live
Phoenix.
on
Whoops, two Sarahs.
7th Ave. Which one? I live now on 7th Ave and Pearson.
Oh, I thought you were up on Bell.
My lease ended and they were jerks. So I decided not to renew.
Ah.
But just like my pictures, look at it. It's so beautiful.
Mm.
Hey, Sarah, I just realized I've been
Yes.
texting you for the last few days and you changed your phone number again.
I got an Arizona number. I became an Arizonan. I've only changed my number once or twice.
Thanks for letting me know that.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi, Nora.
Sorry, I overslept.
Hello, Nora. I did see you come in there.
Thank you.
So as you can see a little bit, can you see it browning up a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Alrighty, and then we got one more recipe, which is my least favorite, but that's okay. And that is a roasted hot dog. Can I just take a vote? Who likes hot dogs?
I do.
I do.
I love
Yeah,
them.
okay,
Joe
okay.
loves them.
So everybody likes hot dogs. Interesting. Does anyone not like hot dogs at all? Like hate
It's
them?
an all-American thing.
Okay, so I hate hot dogs.
Really?
So a perfect roasted weenie for me would be no weenie at all. I really have never been able to eat hot dogs ever. As a kid, I'm looking for my hot dogs right now. Is what I'm doing. But as a kid, they're right here. Emily
Why
loves
did you
them.
put it on the menu then?
My co-chef loves them, but I get very sick every single time I have a hot dog. Like very sick.
Wow.
Like violently. It's not fun. But in Pennsylvania, we have pretty good hot dogs, but I couldn't find them anywhere. I looked everywhere for them. Does anyone know what they are? Can anyone guess
No.
what the brand is that I wanted?
Nathan's?
No, they're from Pennsylvania.
Oh.
I got Frank's, Espar Frank's, but they're from Pennsylvania. Smith hot dogs.
Oh, I never heard of them.
Yeah, so we in Pennsylvania are spoiled as we have a bunch of things that are food related that we have that there's nowhere else in the world and you can't get it anywhere else unless you're there. So Frank's Smith hot dogs is like one of them, and I love them and I will eat them even though they will make me sick. But for this video, I have decided to make your guys's favorite hot dog, because I can't say that I have a favorite hot dog style. But what are different ways people cut? What was that?
What kind of hot dog is it? Nathan?
It is a classic Frank bar ass hot dog.
Oh, bar S.
I'm not sure. All I know is it said no MSG, no artificial flavors, and gluten-free, and I don't like any hot dogs. And they were cheap. And I knew I was not going to eat them,
That's the one that
unfortunately.
includes-
But they're an easy camp staple that you
Yeah.
should always have around, because you can either throw them on the grill, that's on the grate that's on the campfire thing, or you can use your marshmallow stick and you can either do it sideways, or I've actually had people cook 2 hot dogs by basically putting it on like this. Up and down.
Yeah.
You can either do it that way,
Oh my God.
A double
or you
dog.
could do it. What?
You're double downing.
Or you could do it. Or you could do it this way. You know.
Oh, you could do
You
3.
could either do it
You
this
could do
way,
space.
or you could do it this way. So which one do you guys prefer? Do you guys prefer this side? Do you guys cook your hot dogs this way, or do you guys cook your hot dogs this way?
We have never done
Just stick
either.
it like
As
that.
long as they're cooked.
As long as
As
they're
long as they're cooked. Very good, Tim. As long as they're
Right.
cooked. So basically, I'm gonna roast my weenies. And so if I were to have a hot dog, how do you guys like your hot dogs cooked? Because I like my hot dogs burnt.
Me too.
You do? Okay, awesome. I was the kid that I did eat hot dogs when I was a kid, and I was the kid that blew the hot dog up in the microwave because I wanted it to be burnt. But I didn't know as a kid that that was not going to happen. That the hot dog was just going to blow up.
I've had hot dogs explode in the microwave.
Huh.
yeah.
I've heard
You've never had a hot
Pop-Tarts
dog
in the
six?
microwave.
It could still be in there for a little bit longer. We, my assistant chef is looking at all of our awesome things that we have prepared over there for us right now.
Is she eating them?
She's definitely gonna be eating these hot dogs for sure.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that should be left on for a little bit longer. The only one thing I'm really worried about is the you really have to watch your fire pies. So your apple bomb, you can leave for a minute. If you accidentally forget your apple bomb and it's there for 20 minutes, don't be a fret. Of course, your skin will be burnt, but the inside of your apple will still be fine. But you need to make sure that you check on your fire pies when you cook them, because they're most likely going to be the one thing that does get burnt in this whole cooking excursion, because really they only need to be on the hot embers for about 2 minutes on each side. But you see my hot dogs are starting to get a little bit, they actually kind of look grilled almost. But so out of all of these recipes, what is your favorite one? And what are other recipes that you've cooked over a fire other than these?
I think the Chuckwagon's my favorite.
Yeah, you've been there when we've done that a couple times at the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I want to try that toasted peanut butter sandwich.
I want to try
Oh
the
yeah,
apple.
I'm gonna have to bring it. I'm glad that I bought them, but I'm gonna have to bring it with us camping so we can make a bunch of grilled cheeses. And
Yeah.
what I like about camping on the fire, cooking on the fire, is that everyone can really get involved more and really do their own thing, or they can roast their hot dog on a stick themselves, so I really like trying to kind of incorporate these things because it's easier. It's typically a little bit easier for everyone to be able to do.
I want to go camping.
I know.
Me too.
Oh, yeah. Well, I can be ready in 20 minutes if you build a gas tank up and we drive 351 miles.
The
I'm
one
ready
thing
to.
my mother don't do it over during the summer, but the one thing we do is we take croissants and cheese and we put hot dogs in the oven.
Oh, yum.
It's so good.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
She likes our berry cobblers at camp.
Yeah, those are good. I like the chili and the cornbread.
Yep.
Yeah. When you make the croissants, Is it like a pig in a blanket?
Yeah, we cut the hot dog down the middle, put the cheese in it, and then wrap the hot dogs.
So I just want to show you guys here a little bit. I don't know if you can see it easier on that camera, but the one that is basically vertical on my prong stick is falling off. So that is why, also kind of what I wanted to show here is that when you put your hot dog on sideways, you're less likely to lose your hot dog in the fire. So that was the major tip I wanted you guys to kind of take out of the hot dog recipe, was that the easiest way to not lose your hot dog is to make sure that you have a 2-prong stick and it's going through both ways.
Okay.
Perfect.
Just so you know, we use all beef hot dogs at camp. We don't use ones with fillers.
But also, if you don't like hot dogs, or you do like hot dogs, but hot dogs are honestly not that great for you, and they're full of a lot of bad animal parts that aren't good for you and not lean.
Oh, come on.
Unfortunately, but if you guys do want a healthier option, they are making a lot of Beyond Meat, different meat products that are basically just like hot dogs, but they're not, and they're healthier. There's tofu. They have a lot of natural products in them instead of unnatural products, and just basically fat and intestines.
Do they sell those at Bed Bath & Beyond too?
Bring it on over here. Alrighty, I just wanted to show everybody our last, kind of show everybody what our food looks like. So this is our lovely grilled cheese.
Nice.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Is that
And I
done
think
or-
she's going to get a plate, and I'm gonna plop this right on it. But it's beautiful. It's perfectly. All you want to do is you make sure that you don't want it. You just want to make sure that you don't burn it. So you want to make sure that you're paying attention to it at all times. So the apple bomb is gonna come out.
That's what I think that I'm gonna try as soon as it gets cool outside, because that sounds delicious.
The apple bomb.
Yeah, I've never seen that before. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was a really awesome. It was a really awesome way for us to have the same, basically the same dessert for a participant, but just without the gluten, you know? So that therefore she thought that she could basically, like, she was eating the same thing as everyone else.
Yeah.
So this is our lovely little sandwich.
Oh, nice.
And since I am going to be eating this, and I love these things, but like look at the inside of it. Delicious.
Wow.
Good.
Everything's all cooked, all good. But yeah, honestly, the fire pies are my favorite. But the cinnamon apple bomb is ready to take out, so we're gonna take that out and unwrap it. And I'm gonna show you guys what that will look like inside. Oh, it smells delicious. I can smell the cinnamon coming straight off of it. Ooh. So we actually made the perfect apple bomb. I don't know if you can.
I can let them sleep on. There's no school period.
So here. You get it. So basically, oh man.
Oh, wow.
Wow, yummy.
Wow, that looks good.
There you
Where
go,
did-
Sarah.
Where did Sarah go?
There she is. Sarah, that other camera's off. I've seen those apple bombs too, where they stuff them with raisins.
Oh, wow.
Raisins?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can put raisins in there. You can put craisins in there. You can put granola in there. Like if someone doesn't have a gluten or like you can actually put like pancake mix in there too and make it basically an apple crisp inside of it. And it's really nice when you have the apple cutter that is the sliced cutter, because then you're really getting it in that cinnamon and brown sugar in all those grooves. And then our last one, which I feel like a lot of us have maybe already basically known and have seen and tasted and tried out, but is our Chuckwagon Stew.
Your assistant's doing an excellent job.
I know. She says, I'm going to eat all of this afterwards. Oh, yeah.
Hey, Sarah, we could do the apple bomb just in a regular oven too, right?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, okay.
So this is our lovely Chuckwagon Stew.
Wow.
A bunch of vegetables and meat and looks delicious.
Wow.
Alrighty. Can you guys hear me here? Because I had to turn off my phone.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, sweet, awesome. So do I have any questions? I got 7 minutes and I'm gonna try to take some of this food inside. Do I have any questions about any of the meals that I created today? Any restrictions that you guys are interested? Like say you can't have a certain thing, so you wanna know what you could use differently?
I know I've got a bean and nut allergy.
So like instead of peanut butter, you could do a fire pie, you know? Or instead of using a Reese's, you can make sure that you use chocolate or you use a caramel. You can use anything. You just want to make sure that you don't use peanut butter, you don't use any type of bars that have nuts in it. But you really shouldn't have that much of a difficulty with any of our things. And you don't have to put beans in Chuckwagon Stew. Like I said, you could put literally anything, customize it to you, your diet, and what you like.
So everyone kind of does their own. So when you said Chuckwagon Stew, I'm picturing a big pot, but you basically let everyone roll up their own like a burrito, and then they eat it like on their lap.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so basically it's like a stew, but it's like your own personal stew.
Gotcha. Very cool. I guess you probably put black beans or something in there, like a Chipotle bowl even.
Oh yeah, you can, I know like in the past we've had chicken, we've had beef, we've had pork, we've had beans, we've had broccoli, cauliflower. I mean, you can literally put anything in there. You can make it a Mexican bowl, you can make it Italian. I literally, really what I did a lot is my Chuckwagon Stew was always just full of a bunch of vegetables. And when I was at home, my mom likes to cook on the fire a lot. So I would just meal prep by putting basically a bunch of Chuckwagon Stews full of vegetables. But yeah, you can put whatever you want.
Very nice.
It works good with the large group because then they get to personalize it with what they like.
Yeah.
So what have we been doing those a couple years now, huh? And they have been real successful.
Yeah.
Well, Joe has already looked on Amazon and
Everyone seems to really like it.
He already found the sandwich maker on Amazon.
Yes, on Amazon though, I think it might be a little bit more expensive, but
yeah, it's $12. It's $12 on Amazon, but free shipping.
Bad.
Yeah, free shipping too. So if he was gonna go camping with you, would he bring his own?
He can bring his own, but I will plan on bringing mine if we are going camping anytime soon. And I think that, I mean, Jerry would even be willing to possibly get one or two. They're not much. I would even donate them.
I
Yeah.
think
I think they're
definitely we should get them.
I think it's awesome, and they can do it on their own. I think it's just another
Oh, yeah.
way of that to also improve some independence on our camping trips, you know?
Oh,
A little bit
yeah.
more meal prep help.
You know, I could see even like a breakfast sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, everybody has their own and they just, you know, you have different ham and an egg and put it in there and cook it up.
Absolutely. Awesome.
Very nice.
Or French toast, wouldn't that be good?
Oh, French toast
Oh,
would be really
yeah.
good.
That would be so
Yeah.
good. I've never even thought of that. I'm going to have to try that on my own.
Yeah, French toast would be really
Yeah.
good.
That would be really good. But I wanted to thank you guys all for coming and listening to me cook. This is probably my favorite hobby to do. I actually pretend to put on a cooking show to my dogs almost every night. My girlfriend does not like it, but
Oh my gosh.
they literally love it.
Oh.
And since everybody asked for them, they can say goodbye. This is Tucker.
Hi,
Oh,
Tucker. Look, Tucker. Oh my
Tucker.
gosh. That's a wiener dog.
Cow. Come here, Flo. Everybody wants to see everybody. I have 3 dogs, so
Oh,
I'll make their debut.
Oh my
Who's
gosh.
that?
Oh, come here, little man. He's like, oh man.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's so
These are my
sweet.
pups. These are my kids that I've been basically homeschooling for the past summer. I know how those parents are gonna feel next month. But thank you guys all so much for coming. We will be having quite a few more. I think we have about 8 left of our virtual series. We will be having this month. Terrain Hopper will be coming on and really explaining what the Terrain Hopper is, the different adaptations for it that you can get, what different like terrains it can go on, and where is its limits, and also like the founder and the creator of it, he will be there to kind of talk to you guys about it. And then also we'll have someone from Damsel in Defense who teaches about self-defense for people of all abilities. And then also she provides like either a catalog and also like information on where to get like basically self-defense equipment to make sure that you're safe at all times. And then we're also going to be having an ASL one. And that one really is going to be about learning about ASL, the beginning tips on how to try to learn, like the top 10 phrases that you would say, and then basically like also the life of an interpreter and what is that and what's your job and like why did you get into that. And I have about, I think 2 to 3 interpreters actually now that might actually be on. I'm pretty excited about it. So those
Perfect.
are
And then we
other
have
ones, so I hope
then we
to
have
see you
another
guys
one.
again, and we're going to be making sure that we